Today's show is sponsored by RexMD, the #1 leader in men's telehealth. They've got deals with up to 90% off. We've got more information on RexMD later on in today's video, but be sure to check them out over at rexmd.com/chat. Now, we've got a Falcons free agency alert as Atlanta has re-signed KhaDarel Hodge. Honestly, yesterday, I got too much in the weeds on the draft, and I completely forgot to talk about KhaDarel Hodge re-signing on a one-year deal. It's not blockbuster news or anything like that, but Aaron Wilson tweeted out Falcons deal for wide receiver KhaDarel Hodge is 1 year, $1.08 million with a max value of 1.2. He is not a lock to make the roster. There's probably very little guaranteed money associated with him. Last year, he played in all 17 games, and he was not a major contributor. Just 13 grabs, 202 yards, and 1 touchdown for the former Detroit Lion and Cleveland Brown. So KhaDarel Hodge joins a wide receiver room that I still believe needs a lot of improvement. No offense to Matt Collins and Scotty Miller, but those should not be your goals for wide receiver 2 and 3 if you want to see if Desmond Ridder is the guy, right? Not giving him a ton to work with is probably not creating the greatest recipe for success. So KhaDarel Hodge returns on a 1-year deal to compete for a 53-man roster spot. Now, when it comes to Falcons news and rumors, you guys know we do our absolute best here at Falcons Today to keep you in the loop. So help us grow this channel by sharing this video. Click the share icon, then hit Twitter, click post to Twitter, and if you tag producer Rolly at Nick Roloff, that's his handle right there. He's going to be giving shout-outs to everyone when he comes back next week from his little siesta vacation, whatever you call it, this weekend. So tag producer Rolly, get a shout-out over the week or early next week after this weekend, and help us grow this channel. Now, let's get into some trade rumors because that's the NFL offseason, baby. Who doesn't love talking about trade? So, Jenna Laine from ESPN, who's the Bucs beat reporter, tweeted out, 2 sources have told me the Bucs inside linebacker Devin White has requested a trade, story coming. Now, here's what Jenna Laine put in her write-up. One of the sources told ESPN that White has grown increasingly frustrated with the team and is fed up. The source did not provide specifics on the root cause of White's frustration, but said he has become very unhappy with his current situation. Now, Adam Schefter later reported that the Bucs do not want to trade Devin White. So if Tampa Bay is not rushing to trade him, that does not give me a very high probability of a trade going through. We are talking about the former 5th overall pick back in the 2019 NFL Draft, who's coming off a down season. PFF ranked him 74th out of 81 last year. So does it make sense for Atlanta to pick up the phone, call their NFC South rival, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and try and strike a deal to land Devin White? Devin White is a very explosive linebacker. He was really good and really important when they went on to win the Super Bowl back in 2020. 9 sacks, 18 tackles for loss. Since then, he has somewhat regressed. And when it comes to inside linebackers, their value or their market in 2023 is not very high. So for that reason, a guy who's coming off a good season, 8 tackles for loss, 5.5 sacks, but he is more or less a very gifted blitzer. But when it comes to just the rest of the stuff, like, I don't know, coverage and whatnot, that's not his strong suit. So let me know, should the Falcons trade for Devin White? Give me a T for trade or P for pass. Sound off for me in the comment section below. I'm going to give you my answer in just a brief moment. But before I do, I've got to tell everyone about today's sponsor, RexMD. Fellas, do you sometimes lack confidence in the bedroom? We've all had those nights where we get too nervous or maybe had too much to drink. There's nothing worse than not being able to put the stick shift in drive when you need it most. But have no fear, RexMD is here spreading cheer even when you've had too many beers. RexMD is FDA approved and the most trusted leader in men's telehealth. They have sponsored today's show to help you always be prepared. RexMD has made it simple, easy, and cost-effective to help all men out there last longer and feel more confident in the bedroom. RexMD makes getting generic and branded Viagra or Cialis easy. Everything's online, even the prescription, and they deliver it discreetly to your door. No waiting rooms, no embarrassing trips to the doctor, no insurance, and no copays. So take advantage of their best deal they've ever offered and save up to 90% off and only pay $2 per dosage with our exclusive link. Go to rexmd.com/chat for this limited time deal. Starter packs of generic Viagra or Cialis are now available for our listeners to get started. That's rexmd.com/chat for 90% off. That link's in the comments and the description of today's show. So to get back to the Devin White trade idea here. First, let's look at the linebacker room for Atlanta, right? Is there a need to add a player like Devin White? I don't know. I mean, is he an upgrade over Troy Anderson? Sure, right? I think instantaneously he is. Long-term, is that the best thing? That I'm not so sure about, right? The big hiccup with trading for Devin White is he's due a full $11.7 million this season from his fifth-year option. Now, the Bucs could pay some of that to help facilitate a trade, but do the Falcons want to steal a starting role and very precious snaps and development from Troy Anderson or Mykal Walker to give it to Devin White, who might be gone after one season if Atlanta doesn't re-sign him or extend it? I don't think so. So don't get baited. The raw stats look great, right? 5.5 sacks, 8 tackles for loss, over 100 tackles. This guy looks like an awesome linebacker. What are we talking about here? But PFF graded him as one of the worst linebackers last season. Is PFF the end-all, be-all when it comes to evaluating players? I don't think so. But man, when they give someone a 45.5 overall grade, there is something to look at and deeper than just the stat line. So this is not a $11.7 million linebacker who was worthy of an extension, in my opinion, the way he played last season. And if any team does trade for Devin White, I would assume they have plans to trade for him and then extend him. Otherwise, why are you trading for a guy who's due $11.7 million at a position that is receding in value each year, and you don't see him being a part of your future plans? So for that reason, I don't see it being a very likely viable option for the Falcons, and I don't think they should do it either. Now, it does not matter if it's Falcons trade rumors, NFL trade rumors, whatever is going on out there, we will condense it for you, we'll break it down, and we will deliver it to our subscribers, which is why you have to subscribe. Make sure to hit that sub button. It's completely free, so never miss a beat when it comes to the Falcons or the NFL in the offseason. Next up, let's talk about trading for Hunter Renfrow potentially. So the Raiders have been rumored to be shopping Hunter Renfrow. They already moved on from Darren Waller. Could they be looking to do a hard reset? And could Hunter Renfrow be attainable? The Falcons need another wide receiver. Re-signing KhaDarel Hodge, to me, does not move the needle all that much. I don't think re-signing KhaDarel Hodge, you look at and you go, well, they're all set at wide receiver now. Pack it up and let's move on to another need. No. Now, if you add a guy like Hunter Renfrow to this wide receiver room, he is young, he is an ascending player, and him and Drake London is going to make life for Desmond Ridder a lot easier, and you will learn a lot more about Desmond Ridder, right? You will learn if he is the guy. What I do not want to see happen for the Falcons is to go through the entire 2023 season and be unsure if Desmond Ridder is the quarterback because he didn't have anyone to work with. Whereas Renfrow, 1,000-yard receiver 2 seasons ago, 9 touchdowns when he played a full year, he definitely seems like he is on the come-up. So be the GM for me. Do you want to trade for Hunter Renfrow? Y for yes or N for no. I think Hunter Renfrow would run you a bill of about a third-round pick, roughly. It's hard to say because Brandon Cooks went for 2 day 3 picks, but he's older and more expensive. So Renfrow's younger and cheaper, but not quite as good, I think we would say, as Brandon Cooks. So let me know what you think down below. Now, when it comes to the financial side of trading for a guy like Renfrow, if the Raiders trade him before June 1st, they save $5.8 million. They also eat $7.3 million. But if they trade him before June 1st, well, then they likely get a draft pick to use in 2023, which I'm sure they'd be interested in. Now, if they want to save money and wait till after June 1st, they save $11.3 million and they only eat $1.8 million. So I understand not wanting to pull the trigger if you're the Raiders in this situation here, because you get to save a bit money and wait till after June 1st. And as for the Falcons, well, they're only due his base salary, but those numbers could always be moved a little bit based on how much a team wants to eat themselves to facilitate a deal. Now, speaking of wide receivers in general, let's say Atlanta does not go the trade route to try and fill this need. Who could they look to in the draft? I don't think they're going to go wide receiver in round 1. They got to go edge. They just have to. So then in day 2, I love Josh Downs. Josh Downs, in my opinion, him and Jalen Hyatt are my top 2 round 2 targets. Tyler Scott is a name to watch for. He has been sneakily climbing up draft boards. Jonathan Mingo has gotten a lot of buzz lately. I don't really get it. I mean, none of these guys have played actual organized football in months, but he has gotten a lot of love recently. Cedric Tillman, if I got any SEC or Volunteers fans out there, you will know Tillman was the Volunteers' #1 wide receiver last year until he got hurt and Hyatt stepped in nicely. He is a sneaky good pick. He doesn't bring a ton of speed, but I think he is an all-around well-rounded receiver. And then Rashee Rice from SMU, that man's a burner right there. So if you want to pass on trading for Hunter Renfrow and draft one of these guys on day 2, I don't think that's a bad plan. What I don't want to see happen is the Falcons pass on a guy like Hunter Renfrow if he's truly available, and they don't go wide receiver in day 2. They got to figure out if Desmond Ridder is the guy, and I don't want them to end next season or have all of us end next year going, can we definitively say Hunter Renfrow is QB1 or not? Excuse me, Hunter Renfrow. If Desmond Ridder is QB1 or not? Because if you don't give him tools to be successful, well, then you might waste another season to figure out, oh, well, now we know with good wide receivers, he's not the guy, and we wasted 2 years trying to solve that problem. That's going to do it for us on today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see everyone later with more Falcons news and rumors.